All right, 8:35, April 4th. Walking out of top of Georgia, just talked to Atlas for a while about, I guess, everything, trail stuff. He called me several times, called me moron, and I actually like that as a trail name. Even just now, after he talked to me, we talked for maybe 20 minutes, probably less than that even. As I said goodbye, I said, "Bye, moron." And the reason he called me moron is because I'm walking back to the trailhead instead of getting a ride. But, it's been a good morning. I don't see any reason to not walk back to the trailhead. At this point, I haven't done anything involving a car for the last 5 days, which isn't necessarily a record if considering my normal life in Atlanta. Not really using a car all that often. But moron, I like that as a trail name. I should do this in order. So, woke up at 6:50, more or less, and pretty much without assistance. One of the fellow hikers was making coffee and making noise. This bunkhouse that I stayed in, there were no doors on any of the rooms, so it got loud if anyone was doing anything. Excuse me, you could hear it. But anyway, they start serving breakfast, all you can eat cold cereal at 7. And I wanted to be there for that and for some coffee. So had all that. And then packed up all my stuff. Went to the bathroom, had some words with Grandpa. Had to pray to him, seek his guidance and wisdom. This guy Atlas started talking to me, and he was he'd offered me a ride several times this morning. Each one I declined. Gotta blow my nose. Oh yeah, that's another thing. I feel sick, like just a sore throat and a little runny nose, and I think it might have been from one of the bunkmates who woke up this morning with a really gravelly voice. Not 100% sure it's from him. The gestation period seems too brief. So Atlas was telling me it could be pollen. But anyway, I told Atlas that I wanted to do this walk back because I wanted to make a podcast. And then he started talking to me about what he feels is missing from podcasts that show the Appalachian Trail. Morning, how are you? Good, you headed to top of Georgia? Yeah. Nice. Is it easy? Is it decent? Oh, yeah, it's decent. Yeah, definitely. Food there? They have some food for purchase. That's what I'm getting. Okay, yeah, they do have, if you stay the night, they have free cold cereal the next morning. But yeah, it's definitely decent. I'd say, yeah, you'll have everything you need. Oh, thank you. Yeah, happy trails. So Atlas was saying that podcasts don't show the hard stuff, the hard days. It's all sun and rainbows or something. And so he was telling me about some hiker who's out here that I guess he's been helping, named like Pippi Lumberjack or something like that. And she's 380 pounds or something. And just how hard it's been for her, and how people like me, morons, come out here and they know what they're supposed to do, but they don't do it. And he said the things you need to do this are body, mind, and spirit, which I kind of agree with. And in my own estimation, body, my body's good to go. My mind is the thing that I have to use to sort of tame my spirit. And eventually, hopefully, all three of those work in unison to create something that will allow you to complete this kind of a task. And so, like the other night, and he's right, I should have recorded on top of a woods hole when I woke up and the wind was howling and I was scared. I woke up with my heart beating like a rabbit's and just feeling like terror, but at the same time being like, well, this is my wakeful mind now. Like, sure, you stimulated and agitated my body while I was asleep, but now that I'm awake, I know how to calm myself. So, it's the perfect unison of mind, body, and spirit, to Atlas's point. And then he told me about his 3 commandments, which was interesting because I had been planning on asking people, well, not regularly because it sounds annoying to say that, but, when appropriate, being curious what people's commandments would be, because one of mine for sure would be to not litter. And so, practicing what I'm preaching, I'm picking up trash from the trail, as long as it's not biological. So his were be honest to yourself and others. Second one was never let the truth get in the way of a good story. And the third one was to be kind. This guy, he was very expressive and seemed sort of like had a progressive youth pastor vibe to him. Has tattoos, and I don't remember if he had piercings, but just seemed like someone who would be like no offense, but seems like someone who a bunch of 13-year-olds would think was really cool. Like when they grow up, they're like, man, I want to be just like Pastor Rick. Like, he's so cool, or whatever. Pastor Rick. I don't know if a youth guy is a pastor. In any case, interesting little conversation. It's those kind of gems, that break up the monotony of the task at hand, which I'm not really getting tired of yet, but there's no doubt that, I have a lot more in front of me than I've already taken down. It was interesting taking a shower yesterday, which, again, I had illegal alcohol inside the shower. Sorry, y'all. I fucking carried those beers for 18 miles. Not gonna not drink them. If for no other reason than just to get them out of my pack. Anyway, it was interesting seeing my body, because I haven't seen it for a while, 5 days. With all this work, I've got like this lump on my shoulder from, I think it's probably from when I almost fell yesterday. But anyway, I might have talked about that yesterday, I can't remember. But that was interesting. My beard and stuff looks, I guess, 5 days longer. But my body looks practically the same. My diet is really, devolving into something that, I don't know, it hasn't been for years and years and years. But, you gotta eat. Like, my sibling, Lo, I don't think they could make it out here with as, needy as their diet is. I don't know what the fuck they would have eaten last night, that's for sure. You do have to carry like 10 days worth of food at a time, which I guess is feasible. Low. Now that I think about it, I take it back. You could totally do this. You'd have to carry more food, and you'd have to depend on airdrops, or mail drops, rather. But if you were willing to strategize that much, yeah, this could be done, even despite an extremely restrictive and Machiavellian diet. I don't know if that's a good use of Machiavellian, but I imagine that word means something like an unnecessary strictness for the sake of being cruel. That's what Machiavellian seems to mean, in my understanding, usually in like a political way, but we can use it in a dietary sense for you, Lo, since you're so goddamn special. JK. Anyway, getting closer to the trailhead now. There's a chance, it's a little early, but there's a chance that there could be some trail magic there, which I'm kind of low on food. I bought just enough to get me to Franklin, but not quite enough to do much more than that. I'm going to primarily be eating peanut butter. What's his name? Atlas was kind enough to give me a Powerade before I left, and getting distracted, these cars going by. Kind enough to give me a Powerade so that I could use it to collect trash instead of my little trash bag, my little dollar store trash bag that I have to keep mending with duct tape because all the trash keeps poking holes through it, and I'm certainly not out here to be redistributing trash. The knife that I found yesterday was pretty heavy, and when it was moving around like a pendulum, it was poking holes in my bag, so we can't have that. Coming up to the trailhead, I see a hiker. I think it's a female hiker. They're wearing some pink pants, it appears. I'll be crossing into North Carolina today in the next 3 hours or so. 3 times 3, 9, yeah. So that'll be cool. I'm on target to reach Franklin in 3 days, and it'll be a Nero into Franklin from, I don't remember what shelter, but today going from 70 to 85, and then from 85 to 102 in terms of mileage. And I think the North Carolina-Georgia border is like, what's it called? 70 something miles, 78 miles, something like that. I tried to drink as much water as I could stomach before I left, and I have to pee now. So I suppose I will soon. This might even be Emily up here, although I don't think so. This person looks stockier. Well, in the interest of needing to talk to people here soon, I'll go ahead and leave it there. But yeah, good start to the day. It's a lump in my shoulder. If I hadn't seen it, I don't know if I'd even know it was there. But that's the nature of the beast, I suppose. You don't, yeah, out of sight, out of mind, right? Alright, I will talk to you again later. That wasn't even that long of a walk to get here. 8:47, yeah, fuck it.